Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. Over 2 decades ago, I spontaneously started channeling light language, and I've been teaching others to access it for over a decade. And I am really excited to see how fast it's expanding now, although I'm not surprised, and we'll go into reasons for that in just a bit. In this video, I'm going to cover what it is, why you might be feeling drawn to it, and what it indicates for your ascension. Now, this is a really vast subject, so much so that I wrote a whole book about it. But for now, I'm going to begin by answering the question, what is light language, in two main ways? It's a unique form of channeling, and it's nonlinear communication. Now, we are all channels, and we're channeling constantly in different ways. It's just receiving and emitting information from subtle into physical. And to channel, kind of like water through a funnel, it's to bring something vast and subtle into a more specific flow. It's not just letting faraway energies speak through you. That is a limited and outdated understanding of what channeling is. It's transducing something that is outside of your physical sensory bandwidth into your physical experience. And we each do this with the higher self constantly, which is the subtle, connected, not bound by time, space aspect of you. We do this with art, conversation, even business ideas. We do this constantly because it's directly connected to our creative capabilities. And everyone is a channel, receiving and emitting information. We just do it in different ways. And the language of light is a unique form of channeling because it's transmitting a form of communication that's unknown to the channeler, which is even different than channeling in a language that you know. Now, there are two types of light language. Xenoglossia, which is a language that's known on Earth but not to the channel, and glossolalia, which is a language that's unknown on Earth. Now, I've experienced xenoglossia, which I explained in my book, but mostly I channel glossolalia, languages that are unknown on Earth. Glossolalia can be angelic in origin. Perhaps it's elemental, like fairy or elven. It could be galactic, from many different cosmic species, even different timelines. It could also be an Earth language, but one that's very ancient, like Lemurian, or perhaps a future language. Now, some animals do use light language, like dolphins or whales. Most animals don't, because they've developed subtle ways of communicating with us that's more aligned with our languages and our emotions, especially domesticated animals. Now, some people call light language speaking in tongues, star language, angelic speak, shamanic language. There are actually terms for it in most cultures across the world, and references to it in most traditional and ancient texts, including the Bible. These are all light language. It's actually a very natural form of communication that humanity has always been able to access. It's just expanding now because we're raising our vibration through ascension. Now, let's talk about the other main aspect that I want to cover in this overview. Light language is nonlinear communication. Our normal languages are memorized and contextualized. We actually use certain parts of the brain to communicate with language. But the language of light is not memorized, so it's not as linear and defined as our normal communication. And we actually use a different part of the brain with light language. When I channel, I'm accessing the vast, invisible field of information and bringing through channeling what can be consciously recognized by the physical senses as information that is spoken, written, sung, or signed through the body. Because it's nonlinear, light language is the vast wave-like, undefined information. And this is why we call it light language. We're actually blending science and spirituality. We're blending the defined and the undefined as we focus more on nonlinear communication. Language is just information, and it's not always just verbal. Light is a carrier vehicle of information. It's the externalization of frequency, whether we call that color, sound, or shape. And quantum physics shows us that light exhibits both particle and wave characteristics in this density. And light language, of course, has both of those qualities. When I transmit the language of light, it's vast and nonlinear. It's wave-like, pure potential. And then as you receive it, your higher self makes it specific for you by releasing and activating what's perfect for you in your moment. And this creates the particle-like properties. And this is also why a common reaction is tears or a recognition within the self, even if there's not an understanding of the detail of the meaning. Light language speaks the connective language of the heart, not the known language of the mind. It's a natural form of divine, subtle communication that's outside of our normal linear bandwidth. It's heart-centered. Your heart speaks light language fluently. And it helps elevate you through amplifying heart communication and bypassing mental limitations so that you can expand more easily. And this is why you may be feeling drawn to light language. Humanity is moving through the process of ascension, which is just a natural evolutionary step into more conscious connection with the subtle realm. The language of light calls the human heart into power and connects it with the mind. Light language is a direct bridge of interaction as you receive and emit communication that's more attuned to the nonlinear, the connective spectrum of experience. And light language reminds you of your broader, connective, divine nature. And this is one of my favorite things about light language. It nurtures empowerment, which is the new paradigm of healing. It initiates your wisdom to unfold from within you. And it shows you that you are capable of so much more than you may have previously thought or even experienced. Through my decades of experience with light language, I've heard the same language from people that never met, way before it was accessible on the internet. Multiple times I've translated it and had it corroborated by someone else in a way that's way too specific just to be a statistical guess. And we have natural capabilities that are expanding, like light language, which is what ascension is all about. So our intuition is opening. We're starting to see the connection in between things. This is a natural evolution of consciousness. It's that path of personal empowerment. And light language is one aspect of helping you to integrate your empowered wisdom. Now, if you'd like to learn more about it, you can get my book, Opening to Light Language. It goes into the science that's starting to corroborate light language, how it supports your ascension, and even some exercises for accessing it yourself. Or you can take my class, Learning Light Language. But most importantly, light language offers you a bridge of loving connection into your inherent multidimensional nature. It has had a profound effect on me. It's my passion. I hope that you enjoy discovering this powerful and sacred communion with life. Please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications of my latest videos, and visit my website, jamieprice.com, for information about light language, crystalline soul healing, the Cosmic Consciousness Ascension deck, even classes to learn to transmit light language, and so much more.